Two houses on the same Morristown street, similar square footage, similar updates. One goes under contract in a week with multiple offers. The other one sits for 60 days. But here's the thing, that has nothing to do with luck. I've been in real estate for 14 years, and today I'm walking you through the exact mistakes that are costing sellers thousands of dollars and months of their time. And what the successful sellers are doing is completely different. Let me show you. All right, so a lot of sellers have an emotional attachment to their home. I get it. This is where you raised your kids. This is where holidays happen. But you can't price based on emotion. You've got to price based on what the market is actually paying in your neighborhood right now. Before you spend money on a major renovation, you need to talk to a realtor who can help you figure out what's actually going to give you a return on your investment. People spend huge amounts of money on the wrong updates. A full kitchen remodel with finishes that don't appeal to most of today's buyers. And here's the part a lot of sellers miss. Those expensive updates don't mean anything if they don't get clicks online. We're going to talk about that more in just a minute. A lot of times sellers anchor to what they spent or what their neighbor got last year instead of looking at recent comparable sales in similar condition. In Morristown, with our typical home values being in the mid 300s as of early 2026, once you price above where the comps support you, buyers expect near perfect conditions. Sellers often anchor to renovation cost or a neighbor's sold home instead of recent comparable sales with similar features and condition. Buyers only care what similar homes are closing for right now, based on a comparative market analysis and MLS data. Higher price listings do tend to sit longer. They get stale, and they usually need visible price reductions before activity will pick back up. The market does not care about your memories or what you spent on upgrades. It only responds to what buyers are willing to pay today. Now, pricing's huge, but even if you nail the price, there's another thing that kills showings before they even start. Okay, here's the thing. The photos are the first showing. That's where buyers decide if they're even going to step foot in your house. So you need to make sure the sidewalks are pressure washed and the front of the home looks clean and welcoming. Landscape maintenance matters tremendously. Get rid of the cobwebs, clear out the bug nest in the entryway. That stuff will show up in the photos and when the buyer shows up at your door. A lot of sellers focus on the inside updates, but that first picture online is always going to be the exterior. If exterior shots have dirty siding, overgrown landscaping, or a dingy entryway, buyers are probably going to skip the showing. Make sure your home looks polished before the photos are taken because you only get one first impression. When that first impression is off, price reductions usually don't fix the lost trust. The effect of a strong first impression is huge. Compared to the homes that are selling, which we're going to cover in a minute, you're looking at weeks on the market versus days. On-site issues like musty smells, pet odors, or visible deferred maintenance clash with what buyers expect at the Morristown price points. Competing homes are freshly painted, they're deep clean, so buyers are comparing yours to that standard. The Morristown lifestyle pitch, the downtown Skymark district, Cherokee Lake access, outdoor recreation, that all raises expectations that the home itself will feel well cared for. By the way, if you're thinking about selling in Morristown and you're wondering what your specific house needs before it hits the market, I work with sellers on these exact questions every single day. Feel free to reach out to me because my contact information is in the description below. So, we've covered curb appeal. Now let me tell you about a mistake that cost sellers thousands in lost showings. If your agent pulls out a cell phone to take listing photos, that's a problem. I mean it. It's 2026. Nobody should be using a cell phone for listing photos, no matter how good that phone camera is. Professional photography is something agents should invest in. That's not on you. That's just part of being a good agent. It's the bare minimum, really, at this point. Buyers assume that poor photos mean poor condition or that the agent isn't fully engaged. At Morristown's typical prices, professional photography isn't optional anymore. It's expected. Some homes are still marketed with dim, crooked cell phone photos while buyers are scrolling next to professionally shot listings. Competing homes have bright, wide-angle images, drone shots, and sometimes even twilight photography. Poor photos cause buyers to click on better presented listings first, assuming yours is either neglected or overpriced. Bad photos turn what should be a strength, like charm and character, into a liability. So that's the presentation, but there's an invisible issue that kills listings and most sellers don't even realize it's happening. Here's a question. If you ask an agent, what's your marketing plan? And they just say, well, listing it on the MLS and we put a sign in the yard, that's a problem, okay? The sign in the yard, MLS, and social media, that's not a real marketing plan. A lot of listings rely on the MLS and a yard sign without identifying who the ideal buyer is or where that particular buyer spends time. A good agent needs to know exactly how to get your home in front of the right buyer. I always ask sellers, who do you think is going to buy this house? Then we build our strategy around that. I also ask, what made you buy this house? Because that's likely what's going to matter to the next buyer too. Without a clear strategy, days on market creep up and buyers start assuming, oh, something must be wrong with that house. When an agent can't explain a step-by-step plan, email outreach, video, targeted campaigns, listing syndication, homes tend to stall. And that brings me to one of the biggest mistakes I see over and over again. So that's why homes aren't selling. Now let's flip it and talk about what the successful sellers are doing differently. The market is always right. Your job as a seller is to listen to it. So you start with a solid comparative market analysis and look at what homes are actually doing right now. Look at what's sold in your neighborhood, how similar those homes are, and what kind of updates have they had. It really does boil down to the comps and what buyers are willing to pay today. If you're not getting showings in the first 3 weeks, or you're getting showings but no offers, that's the market telling you that you're overpriced. And you can't wait 45 or 60 days to adjust because by then you're just playing catch up. The data shows that homes here are taking a little over 6 weeks on average to sell. Zillow's Home Value Index shows typical home values in the mid 300s, with homes going under contract in roughly a month. Successful sellers use very recent comps and price within a realistic band, not based on wishful thinking. When a home comes on just under an obvious ceiling for its segment, it often will attract multiple offers. Two similar Morristown homes can have completely different outcomes. One is based on what buyers are paying now. The other is priced based on what the seller is hoping they can get. Pricing gets buyers in the door, but what happens once they walk in determines whether or not you're actually going to get an offer. Part of staging is deep cleaning your house. I tell every seller that. Either you do it yourself or you hire a professional company. Windows, baseboards, kitchens, bathrooms, everything needs to be cleaned. If it needs to be cleaned, it needs to be cleaned. It should sparkle. We don't typically hire professional stagers here like you would see in the bigger cities. Decluttering and showing the best use of each room is how we stage in this market. The way your home looks in the photos is exactly how it needs to look every time a buyer walks through that door. Homes that sell quickly are deep cleaned and decluttered so that every room has a clear purpose. The home looks the same in person as it did in the listing photos, which signals strong maintenance. Even without professional staging, thoughtful furniture placement and neutral decor help buyers mentally move in. That covers what you need to do inside the house. Now let me show you what good marketing actually looks like. We talked about bad photos earlier. Now let me show you what actually wins. Successful listings invest in professional photography and sometimes video or virtual tours. The photos highlight not just the home, but also their proximity to downtown, parks, and other attractions. Bright, well-composed images help Morristown homes stand out among other Hamlin County listings. Most buyers are discovering homes through mobile apps like Zillow.com, Realtor.com, or Homes.com. Professional photography acts as the first showing, and it turns online interest into real showings. High-quality visuals drive more clicks and more showings in that critical first week. Most buyers are browsing on mobile apps and real estate portals, so photos carry the weight of that first impression. Photography gets buyers through the door, but what actually closes the deal is something else entirely. When you take the time to do things right, the house sells. When there are no obvious repairs, buyers feel confident. Recently updated systems and finishes give buyers the confidence that they can move in and live there right away. Sellers who fix obvious issues before listing remove easy negotiation leverage. When a home is truly move-in ready, buyers focus on the strengths instead of calculating repair cost. The cleanest and most done listings command the top of the local price range. At these price points, buyers expect near perfection, so deferred maintenance becomes a deal point fast. When homes are move-in ready, buyers focus on layout, location, and lifestyle instead of the cost to repair. In Morristown market, homes can still attract multiple offers when they show clean and complete. Buyers at higher price points expect near perfect condition, and visible maintenance issues can cause them to walk away. Condition absolutely matters, but understanding which price segments are moving fastest matters just as much. So if you're looking at this strictly by price range, here's what I'm seeing right now in Morristown. Homes above the $500,000 mark are taking longer to sell. We just don't have as many buyers in that price range right now. If your home is around $300,000 or below, it's usually going to move very quickly because inventory is tight. A lot of the lower price range inventory needs rehab work, but first-time home buyers still want turnkey homes. When you understand your price segment, you can set realistic expectations from day one. Most inventory in the lower 200s is going to need work, but buyers in that price range typically prefer move-in ready options. Typical home values sit in the mid-200s to mid-300s, making higher-priced homes a much smaller market segment here in Morristown. That inventory squeeze pushes faster sales in the sweet spot, while higher price bands require sharper pricing and strategy. When you understand your price segment, you position your home for the buyers who are actually out there right now. The market is not rewarding hope anymore. It's rewarding preparation. Sellers who understand what buyers expect at Morristown's price points are the ones still getting contracts while others sit. If you're thinking about selling in Morristown or anywhere in Hamlin County and want a strategy that actually gets you sold without leaving money on the table, email me at amy@tnrealestategal.com today. Now, if you're on the buy side and you're trying to figure out which Morristown areas actually match your lifestyle, make sure to watch my next video linked right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.